Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Proudest Ones podcast. This will be the first of many podcasts to come. Today's topics are going to be really interesting. At least in my personal opinion, they're going to be very interesting. One very big thing that we're going to be talking about, is the $25 million that is going towards Google's initiative for news. Because, ironically, so they're giving... The gist of the story is, and they're giving $25 million to channels like the Washington Post and Vox Media in an attempt to get rid of, what is it? Let me see. It's right here. If I pull it over here, all right. YouTube announced it would spend $25 million on news, part of the Google News initiative that pledged $300 million. Watch the news industry. The money is being used to hire more specialists to support publishers, help publishers build their own video operations, and create working groups, blah, 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 right? Improve news. YouTube also is expanding Player for publishers. Player launched in Europe, blah, 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 blah. Publishers including the Washington Post and Vox Media. News is important. We're committed to working with you to help the industry, said Neil Mohan. Just... The thing is like, it's, okay, here it is. YouTube has come under fire for allowing extremist and misleading information to spread. So, it's taking a page from parent Google, which has had success in painting itself as a friend to the news industry. Fantastic. Like, you're gonna give, like, it's like, you're gonna give money to really, just fake news and far left. Good job, YouTube. You're trash. Stop it. Ugh. So, that's a little side note. I actually wasn't planning on talking about that too much. But, yeah, it just goes to show that, I understand that, YouTube, I mean, just in the past how long, it's degenerated into just like a cesspool for just garbage. And it's like, I'm not talking about actual genuine creators. You look at BuzzFeed, Vox Media, just all of this complete trash fire. It's just unfortunate you get so much, but anyways. That's a little bit of a side note, I should say. So the main stories that we're going to be talking about are quite interesting, in my personal opinion at least. Alright, so a new bill aims to send mass Antifa activists to jail. Good job. Dude, I hate Antifa so much. They are such trash. It's like they say, what, anti-fascist, but you're going to act just act with like a fascist. I mean, it's literally, you're using violence to stop political discourse. The problems. There are many problems, and I'll go into it, but let's watch this video and,
do now.
Let's watch this video and figure out what's up.
It's 6 a.m. in Portland, Oregon, and we're headed to a bar with blacked out windows.
They wanted to meet us really early in the morning because they're concerned about a lot of people being around.
We are meeting
They're worried about Nazis.
Members of the Rose City Antifa, short for anti-fascist. This group's main goal is to disrupt neo-Nazis and white supremacists.
Neo-Nazis and white supremacists. Hey, that's anybody who disagrees with them, by the way. Just letting you know. It's not actual Nazis. Sometimes it is. But most of the time, it's just people who disagree with them. So,
but also take on government and capitalism.
Antifa is
They're fucking commies, dude. That's literally, it's just, they're commies. They're so stupid.
a group that's willing to stand up against fascists by any means necessary.
I'm sorry if I'm interrupting at so many times. By any means necessary is also a group funded by just, I think it's leftist politicians and leftist professors. It's like, it just goes to show how deeply seated this stupidity, this identity politics is seated within our country and the intellectual systems that underlie it.
Means necessary, they say, can mean outing a white nationalist at their work or to their neighbors.
As a person of the Proud Boys, too, it's worth taking into consideration. These people will out you as a Nazi when you're not a Nazi. They out you as a Nazi, but to other people who live in your neighborhood, it doesn't matter. because a public safety bulletin, that seems legit. It's like, why would they not believe it? You're just idiots.
Or, as we've seen recently, violence, fires, property damage, hand-to-hand combat at protests across the country.
Explain to me the...
By the way, Rufio Panman, fucking popping that kid in the face. You deserve it, pussy. Garbage can. Like, if you haven't seen it, there's a video from Portland, Oregon. This guy, Rufio Panman, fucking proud of your boy. He just knocks this kid out. I mean, he knocks this Antifa kid out. And it's not like he just knocked him out for no reason. This kid hit him with a baton, like, multiple times. He assaulted him. And this kid was just like... And the guy didn't have any weapons. He literally just knocked this fucking kid out and planked this commie. It was amazing. We should watch that after.
The reasoning behind fighting.
You have to make it so unpalatable to be doing white supremacist organizing that they no longer want to do that. And historically, that's what's worked. You have to put your...
Historically, that's what's worked. Being a tyrant, that's what works. Don't worry. Yeah.
Body in the way, and you have to make it speak in a language that they understand, and sometimes that is violence.
What about people who will say that it is their right to free speech, even if it's hate speech?
We do think that communities have the right to step in and say, no, this is not acceptable in our community. We will not stand for this.
So there's an element of distrust of the government here, right? An element maybe of...
So they're like, hey, no, we're not even going to say that. We're just, it's like, we think that people should be able to say, we don't like that. It's like, yeah. But it doesn't mean you can go fucking punch people, you stupid piece of garbage. God.
Of anarchism.
People in our group come from across the left spectrum. We have people that are anarchists, we have people that are socialists, we even have people that are like liberals or social democrats.
One of the principles is that you're not going to wait for the government to act.
We don't rely on the cops or the courts to do the work for us.
They don't rely on the cops or the courts to help them unless they, unless they can use them. Fucking trash.
There's no firm number on how many Antifa activists there are in the U.S. because there isn't any one organization. Most are local groups that recruit and communicate through social media. But experts who track these organizations say their membership is growing in response to the rise of white national groups and the election of President Donald Trump.
They make this into just like this huge thing. Like there aren't Nazis on every corner. It's just crazy. And they make it seem that way. It's like, no. There are what they consider to be Nazis on every corner. Because what they consider to be a Nazi is somebody who disagrees with their absurd political viewpoints. That's a Nazi to them. And to that definition, yes, there are people on every corner that are a Nazi. But they're not Nazis. Oh my God. It's just like Ben Shapiro. He's an Orthodox Jew. He's a Nazi. In their eyes. They are so skewed. They live within this schism. They're just like everything that they don't understand is just wrong.
Violence and property destruction led to more than 200 arrests in Washington, D.C. on Inauguration Day. Prosecutors say they were wearing masks covered head to toe in black, a tactic the Antifa call Black Bloc.
People dress in Black Bloc for a few things. One,
Scott Crow has been leading anarchist and militant leftist groups for decades.
so people put on the masks so that we can all become anonymous. And then therefore we are able to move more freely and do what we need to do, whether it is illegal or not.
So some people will push back on that and say that the Black Bloc is to keep people from being identified.
I just remembered. I forgot my speakers were really loud, so I'm going to turn those down. It's really crazy loud. So.
Identified and arrested when they
Much better.
break the law, when they commit
really
crimes.
Damn right. It's a good way to avoid the ramifications of law enforcement.
It's also to avoid the far-right groups they're fighting and the harassment that each side often engages in.
It's like, here's the deal. For me, I'm not gonna, I think that the far left and the far right are just equally deplorable. They are just so stupid. Because the idea is that you look at white nationalists, it's like they're based within the same identity politics that skew their value systems as much as Antifa, right? Far left live within this just obscene identity politics idea. It's just like, okay, well, your value of your opinion is dictated by how much victimhood you've accrued, right? And then on the white nationalist spectrum, far right, you have these people who are like, well, your race is intrinsically intertwined to the amount of value you put forward to like it's intrinsically intertwined to your value as a person. And both of those are so stupid. They are so stupid. Like how? How do you come to be? Like, sorry.
We saw that firsthand at a May Day protest in New York City.
We cover our face because the Nazis will try to find out who we are.
The Nazis.
And that is a very bad thing because they harass people. They're the ones. They say that we're the evil ones.
Boonga,
and you
boonga.
guys in the media, you always tell us, oh, they're trying to fight for their free speech. We're trying to stop them from organizing. We're not trying to stop them
Oonga
from
boonga,
free speech.
oonga boonga, oonga boonga. They can have free speech. They just know be able to say oonga boonga. Fuck.
Because when they organize, they kill people, they hurt people, they fight people.
They
and
kill
we're
people.
the ones who
Oonga
are
boonga.
fighting back. They are the second coming of Hitler.
Police in Berkeley told us they haven't seen this kind of destruction since the 1960s. Law enforcement in other cities are dealing with similar situations, like in Portland, Oregon, where Antifa
Portland. I was just talking about that. Rufio Panman. Brah! Fucking KO'd that little commie. She was great.
had been
honestly.
involved
We'll
in
show
at
that
least 10 protests ending in violence, according to police. And it's wearing on the community.
It is new.
Only
It's
assume.
like this rumble mentality of, I'm going to bring my friends, you bring your friends, and we're going to fight it out in the park. It's not something we've seen here. It's not good for the city. People are just frustrated by it. It's affecting their livability. It's affecting their business.
Has it become more violent?
It happens quicker. The fire starting that we saw on May Day is something we haven't really seen much of in the past. The running through the street, breaking windows and everything.
These
in
degenerates.
sight.
I mean, they are
We
just
haven't seen it
degenerates.
as consistently as we've seen it in the last 8 months.
In the 1990s, protesters used black bloc tactics during the Seattle World Trade Organization protests, and in the 2010s, the Occupy Wall Street movement.
What they're trying to do now is not only become prominent through violence at these high-profile rallies, but also to reach out through small meetings and through social networking to cultivate disenfranchised progressives who heretofore were peaceful.
But it's the violence that's gotten them attention, directly confronting groups that preach white nationalist rhetoric, like on Inauguration Day, when white nationalist Richard Spencer was punched in the face. And it was the Antifa movement that caused Berkeley to cancel speeches by extreme right provocateurs like Milo Yiannopoulos.
Violence is a necessary part of their message because they believe that elites are controlling the government and the media. So they need to make a statement head on against
He's
people
trash.
who they regard as racist.
If there are the more hardcore elements, the white supremacists and neo-Nazis that go to these rallies that are
These
itching for a
kids.
fight, we're there to say, we'll stand in your way.
Fine, stand in my way. Honestly. Oh my god, these kids are so dumb. They are so dumb. I don't know if they're dumb, but they're just so disgustingly misinformed. It's really sad. It's just, let's watch one more video.
Congressman, let me ask you, President Trump was obviously widely condemned for his comments in which he seemed to be equating both sides for the violence and hatred in Charlottesville. But obviously, let's remove the idea that there's any moral
By the way,
equivalence.
that was actually...
Is there any legitimacy to the argument that the violent tactics of groups like Antifa make matters worse and that Democrats and progressives need to condemn them?
You know, anyone that's committing violence ought to be condemned. Anyone. There's no justification for it whatsoever. But I do think that cannot be allowed to obscure the fact that millions of people are gathering around the country and have since this president was inaugurated in the most peaceful form of protests. And we can't allow the commander-in-chief to somehow equate the handful of people that would make those protests violent with any kind of sentiment that condones white supremacy or neo-Nazism. And I think it all gets back to the point you made earlier, Jake, and I think the fundamental problem here is that the President of the United States can't bring himself to repudiate a part of his support, and that is that small group of bigots that are supporters of his. He's taken a position essentially that if you're with me, you can do no wrong. And I won't condemn you practically anything that you do.
That's absurd. Just, it's the same idea as like when people write to. I think I watched a lecture the other day. It was on Ben Shapiro, and he received a letter. It was like, you know, they're basically saying that, you know, they're not everybody. This guy wrote Ben Shapiro a letter and said, you know, not everybody who watches you is like a white nationalist, or I don't know, that wasn't the word. It wasn't a bigot, but the fact of the matter that your words resonate with bigots should make you think. It's like, no. Here's the deal: if you can openly like condemn these horrible people, and they still agree with what you're saying, it's like it's not your fault because you made it so very clear that you don't align with that. Particularly in Ben Shapiro's case, it's like, dude, he's a Jew. He's by no means is he a Nazi, nor is he a white nationalist. It's just this absurdity. These people are just trying to conflate they're trying to use the minority as the majority, and it just doesn't work. Just stop. You make yourselves look stupid. Really. I mean, it's just like, why? Oh, man, it's just craziness. But it's just, you know, so apparently 2 groups go to Charlottesville, a big group transfers to FIP. This is, either way, I just wanted to look at these videos, be able to look at these and show you guys, like, oh, man. This is just, I mean, I liked the video. It was pretty cool, because Antifa is trash. They are gutter trash. They're just entitled kids who live in America who think that it should be communist, and they just believe in it. And it's unfortunate because so many people have died at the feet of communism. There's a huge death toll because of communism, and they genuinely believe in it. And it's just extremely, it's unfortunate that these kids are so misinformed that they believe that it's even possible, that it's even a pragmatic application. It's a question of pragmatic application. No, it's at the very fundamental, the fundamental aspect of communism. It is that it's based upon a Marxist theory of utopia, and you cannot do that. Not with humans. Humans are, who was it? Oh my god, I don't remember if it was Dostoevsky. Oh my god, it was either Dostoevsky or Solzhenitsyn. I completely forgot who wrote it, but it was if you give a man cakes and you give a man land, and so that all he has to worry about is eating, drinking, and worrying about the continuation of his species, he will still break everything around him so that he is not just a piano key, right? Because we are individuals, and it's like, why do you feel the need to reduce people to a group identity? And that's the problem with identity politics, is that it reduces your individuality to a group's individuality. We have to look at it at an individual level, right? How do we analyze this at an individual level, and then build up and build down from there? It's craziness, man. It's craziness. All right. So here's a good one. This one's a little bit, it's nicer. Or at least it's nicer for me. I'm happy that these kids get popped.
Get on your fucking property, you bastard!
Oh, so, backstory of this. I'm sorry. Okay. So, these Antifa kids are out here like, hey, yo, they're on federal property, they're asked to get off. He didn't. They're throwing vulgar insults. They also hurled rocks, apparently. That's great. Yeah, so it's gonna be great. I love it. You're gonna hear some rees, dude. Some rees come from these babies.
Fuck you! Fuck you.
Hold tight! Hold tight!
Hey!
Like,
Let them
hey,
fucking go!
let them go!
Fuck you!
Good job. They're hitting him with stun pellets. Fuck yeah, dude. Hit him. Hit him. Fuck yeah, dude. That's what you get, pussy. Fuck you. You get, pussy.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Tase him. Tase him. Fuck. Tase him. Fucking get.
Really?
Cucks.
What the fuck is wrong with you fucking scumbags? Fuck you!
Scumbags. Hippies.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck
You fucking deserve it.
Fuck
Pussies.
you!
They've not done anything.
Are you injured? You're on nails.
You're a fucking fascist.
Running nails.
You're a fucking fascist.
Go inside. Go inside. Hold that line. What the fuck is wrong with you? Fuck you!
Honestly, this brings the biggest smile on my face.
Kidnapper! Hey! Fuck you! You fucking
Shame on you. I love it. I love it so much.
that how you fucking treat women?
How you treat fucking equals, bud. It's like, is that how you treat women? It's like, that's how you want equality? That's how you get it, buddy. You fucking stupid. Howdy, Maddie. I see the YouTube thing you sent. I'll have to check it out later.
Shame! Shame!
Shame! Shame! Oh my god, it's so beautiful. Free!
Fuck you!
Put your fucking can of mace down. Put your fucking can of mace down. The fuck you. You're fucking fascist. You're fucking fascist.
Ooh, fuck. The thing is, okay, so here's the deal. They're not fascists, alright? Because they're operating within the realm of law. When you break the law, you warrant force. Just these kids are so fucking stupid. They are so disgustingly misinformed. They just choose not to take into consideration the actual laws. They're literally just caught up in their virtue signaling. They're like, oh my god, you disagree with me? You must be a bigot. Like, God, you're stupid.
Terrorist, your country hates you, you piece of fucking shit. You're a fucking piece of shit. You die alone, cold and scared. Take your goddamn scream.
I'm scared of you, bitch!
It's like, here's the deal. You're not scared of her. She has some mace. Go ahead and punch her. She has a bunch of guys with her too. Honestly, that's the idea. You're not scared? Big talk, bitch. You're stupid. Kids are just chilling. What you get, stupid little fucking commie.
Get behind the car! Go fuck yourself now!
Love it. Hey! Yes, dude.
Fuck you!
Fuck yeah, dude.
Pathetic piece of shit! Fuck you! Get the fuck out of our city! Bastard! Fuck you! You're a pathetic coward! You fucking coward! Fuck you!
Fucking coward.
nothing wrong.
Fucking pussies.
They fucking maced themselves. They're so stupid.
They also maced you, you piece of shit.
You fucking Nazis! Stop!
They maced themselves.
We love you, Brady! We love you, Brady!
No, they don't love you. They don't love you. Oh, fuck! What a pussy. Of course he runs. I love how they cheer when they run.
This is scary. They're fuck them!
Your face will be plastered everywhere, you piece of shit. Everywhere your face will be.
So what? You fucking commie shit. No, they're not dead. No. But, okay, so the backstory of this is a bunch of anti-ICE, a bunch of Antifa, or, I'm sorry, 8 members of Occupy ICE are arrested outside of an ICE facility because they were told to get off of the facility property. They refused. They stayed in line, and eventually, they broke them up, and they stopped them. Right, so then everybody then it started like a bunch of crazy shit. So they started macing them, took them down, hit them with stun pellets in their paintball guns, and then just so much craziness.
Fuck you! Fuck you!
Just, it's so crazy. It's just like, Ree! Ree! It confuses me. So yeah, they're not. If only garbage cans.
Everybody that's watching this on Facebook right now, fucking share this stream right now.
I will share it. That's what you get, boy.
Look at our comrades.
The garbage. I love how she used the word comrade. Like, wait, where is it?
Fucking now.
They're treating them. Look at our comrades. Look at our comrades. Disgusting.
Oh my god. If it wasn't apparent they were communists. Here you go.
You fucking Nazi.
God, that's just.
You say thank you to being a Nazi? Oh my god, he just said thank you to being a Nazi. Oh.
There it is again. They use Nazis. God, these kids. How are you so fucking deluded? How are you living in such disillusion? It confounds me. So.
Oh my god!
Yeah, that's what you get. Honestly, you go against the officer's orders. Yep. Occupy ICE protesters, pepper ball wounds. Fuck yeah. That's what you get, buddy. You stupid piece of shit. Oh my god. Oh. Fucking garbage. It really, honestly. But no, this is great. It really is. Cause dude, I'm happy. I'm just happy that these kids got fucking what they deserve. Honestly, in my personal opinion. I think it was probably a little bit more, but I don't know, man. It's whatever. So, yeah. We'll live life, I guess. So what is this YouTube link, Maddie? Let me know. You gotta give me some backstory. What is it? So we're gonna go and look up the Rufio Panman incident that I talked about briefly earlier. Because it was just, honestly, so beautiful. So beautiful. Let's see. Does this work? Okay. Wait, no. We gotta find the actual KO. KO Rufio. No, that's wrong. Yeah, this is it. Okay, see? Okay. Got this. Got the on. He pops him. Whoa, okay. That's good. BAM! Fucking see you later, you piece of garbage. See you fucking later, you vegetable. Oh, it is? It's a Food Network meme. I'll click on it, dude. Don't worry, baby. Let's check it. Hopefully you're not doxing me. Or hopefully you're not IP checking me.
I'm eating cannoli today, and it's great.
The fuck? Okay, wait. Okay, now I'm gonna check it. Okay, we'll see it. I'm convinced. Let's move this over. Fuck, dude. It's not working. See, it opened up on my other shit. On my, It opened up on my internet, like, not Internet Explorer, that shit's antiquated, but, yeah.
I'm eating cannoli today, and it's great. And I'm about to kill my son.
I'm about to kill my son? Nice. Oh my gosh. Okay. I feel like I went for 30 minutes, and it's like I definitely could have talked more, but you know, I feel bad because right now my content right now is like I'm gonna be getting a table next week. I'm gonna be getting better mics, and hopefully soon I'll be getting a green screen so that I can actually set it up so that you know we have multi-angle shots. Because right now, you know, I have one webcam right here. That's literally it. But thing is, I have two monitors. I figured the way I can do it is get a pretty good get a good table, set that up, get two angles for two cameras, and be able to set that up so that you know we could have maybe some in-person guests, you know, down the road. And you know, I am really excited about this coming forward. I think what we're going to be looking at is another. We're going to be doing this every Friday at noon. Then after that, I think after next week, we're going to be looking at, once we get better stuff, I guess. Once we get better stuff, we're going to be looking at doing it twice a week. Because I absolutely love doing this. I love political commentary, particularly when it involves Antifa kids getting knocked out. Honestly. Like, these kids are so dumb, they are deluded, delusional little idiots. So, I'm just happy when I get to see that. So, I'm just happy I get to share my joy with you. Anyways, everybody, make sure that if you go onto my YouTube, or it's in my Twitch channel, my YouTube, but that my VODs will be posted day after, and I hope that all of you enjoyed the video for the most part. I'm pretty sure early on into the video it was like really garbage quality, particularly because my speakers were just crazy loud. But either way, make sure to tune in next week at on Friday at same time at 12 noon. All right, guys, stay chill and stay proud. Proudest ones are signing off.